ASAP Elite. I'm your host, Coach Penn, and today we have a magnificent show lined up for you. The son of legendary heavyweight boxer who specializes in personal development and youth mentoring, he has been an asset to his community and has provided a scholarship fund and support through his foundation, Legacy Exists. His focus is helping people find their true happiness, achieving growth through mindset development, and believes change only takes place once you recognize the power in oneself. My other guest is here on behalf of JP Realty Solutions, which is a solution-based company that offers answers to issues that are relevant in Black communities, such as affordable housing, health and wellness, and financial literacy. Please allow me to introduce to you Patrick Hutchins and Joe Frazier Jr. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, thank you so much for coming and being patient. Yeah, definitely. So would you guys give our audience the honor of you guys introducing yourself, Patrick?
Okay, my name is Patrick Hutchins. Like you said, I'm with JP Realty Solutions, LLC. Co-owner is Shane Johnson. Associate is Cameron Scroggins. We are a solutions-based company. Like you said, our philosophy is that as far as real estate is concerned, that we see that as our community's most quickest way to economical independence. We also have various programs that we have for men within the youth community as well. And right now we're working on a 7-on-7 NFL style combine for the youth in South Phoenix. Once again, we are here to assist our people, but we're also here to educate and to edify as well.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Joe?
Joe Frazier Jr. I am the owner of Cross the Crown, and I am helping out and assisting with my sister, who is actually the founder of the Legacy Exists, but we do it in honor of our father, Smoking Joe Frazier. We give back to the at-risk youth to help them, just become one with themselves, their mind, body, and soul, that they can, achieve their future. We give away scholarships from ages 13 to 19 years old. We also do sneaker giveaways in honor of putting down the guns and picking up the sneakers. We've done a few of those. And my personal mission is just to help every single kid become one with themselves so that they can maximize their potential, because that's really what it's all about.
Definitely. Man. That's wonderful. Well, today's show, we focus on the importance of philanthropy in our communities. So we're going to open up a forum. Myself, the ability to give back, it's one that is not really common in our communities, like where I'm from in Detroit, in Chicago or Newark, or should I say, but every now and then we have one that that does have that opportunity to give back. And whether it's through, foundations, monetarily, different organizations, or, just aiding and even cleaning up the neighborhood park.
Take advantage of it. I mean, you're right. It doesn't have to be money. A lot of people think monetary when it comes to giving back, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be your time. Listen, you can get money back. You can't get your time back. So to me, honestly, your time is more important than the money you give back, because it's all an energy mindset, So for me and what, a lot of my siblings, we try to do for the youth is just help them, because for me, it was a mental thing. Like I grew up, Joe Frazier Jr., there's 11 of us. So like, I'm not the only one, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, nobody told me I had to box. Nobody told me I had to do these things and live up to it, but just mentally, that was my mindset. So that was the struggle that I had to go across. And I know there's other individuals who might not have a father who was a heavyweight champion of the world, but just feeling like they got to live up to something. So that mental mindset is big. And my whole theory is like, going to see Tony Robbins and Les Browns and the ETs and all of these personal development speakers, I see that it's a lot easier to mold the kid young and be able to maintain them as they grow than try to retrain somebody who's 30, 40, 50 years old. It's great for the industry. It's great for the business. And, you need to keep going every single day. I say personal development is like taking a shower. You can't do it once because you'll start to stink eventually again. It's the same thing with personal development. So if we can catch them early and just get the root of the problem, we can start now just maintaining and building upon that development that we helped earlier out.
Well, Joe, piggybacking off of that, can you explain a little bit about your scholarship fund?
Yeah, so the scholarship fund, we usually give away anywhere from 10 to 15 scholarships every year. We had to kind of pivot this year because of COVID. So we did everything virtually, but 13 to 19 years old, they can go to thelegacyexists.com. They can fill out the scholarship. It has passed for this coming one right now, but we usually do it right here in Pennsylvania at Penn's Landing, and we just help them grow. I mean, there's not much to it. All they really have to do is write a short essay about Joe Frazier. Okay. They have to have one type of mentor, somebody sign off for them, and just, you know, a photo. So we don't ask much of them, but we want to try to give back as much as we can so that they can help grow moving forward. Because in that essence, we can do it monetary, but we also try to spend time with them and things of that nature too.
Gotcha. Well, Patrick, your perspective of philanthropy in our neighborhoods and the importance of.
You know, and if you don't mind, I'll call him Joe Jr.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So Joe Jr. touched on it in a sense because I have to speak on it from the opposite end of the spectrum of what he just said. He has a famous father, but now my father is famous in my community. And so he's not well recognized as his father is, but it's still what he spoke of as far as having that pressure. It's still the same pressure because I grew up and my dad was like everybody's dad in the community, you know? So whereas everyone else's father wasn't there and they may have been lacking, my father was there to give the advice. We had the house that no matter what you were going through, if you came over there, you could stay. You know, he always had a place for you. My dad was a mechanic, so he would be the type of person that he would fix your car and everything else, and he didn't ask you to pay. You didn't have to pay for anything, you know. But now here's the thing: as a child, when you see that, you don't quite understand it. See, because you're looking at it like, what's going on with all these people here? You know, I can't get to my dad. I don't have that one-on-one time with him. So, you know, I kind of grew up with the dad almost in a famous sense in the neighborhood, in the community, but it was difficult because I didn't have my dad. But now what happened was that everything that I saw from him translated over into me. And so when it was my turn, so this is why I do what I do, is because I had to realize I saw my father through the eyes and the lens of what I was a child. Until I got older, I didn't understand his ways and why he did the things that he did, you know. But then when I went back and I talked to the people in the community and everything that I grew up with, and they came back at me and they were like, hey, your dad is this, he did that. A lot of things he did, I had no clue on. So for me, it's the pressure, but it's also knowing that it's within you, you know? And it's just a matter of acceptance. I just had to accept the fact that I was my father, right? And not run from it. He's got a famous name. He can't run from that, you know? But it's the same, again, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. It's difficult living under that shadow when you have that name. Mine just happens to transfer just through the last name. So if they know you're Hutchins out there in South Central Los Angeles, then that means that it stands for something. That's right. When I came here to Arizona, it was my responsibility to carry on my father's legacy through philanthropists and through my company and everything that we do. So the way that we view it through the eyes of a child. And what I mean by that is that we view it through what I was lacking as a child, what I didn't have. So this is why I want to come into the community and I want to help the children. I want to give them the ability to have a voice, right? Right. I want to give them the ability to then come in and say that, you know what, I can be something despite maybe this, that, or the other. And I think it's, Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy. And when they talk about what's missing, and so this is what puts you in this position when it comes, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the philanthropist aspect of this, what we do in the community, is that we have to look out for our youth. We have to understand, but we have to understand through our experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. We just have to learn from that. And then from there, we can push it on through our philanthropist work. We can then show the community maybe what they don't know what I went through as a youth, but they can just see my passion. And that's all I need them to see is my passion.
Gotcha. Understood. Well, Joe,
Yes.
my next question is, what made you guys pick that age group, 13 to 19, to focus on when it comes down to the foundation?
Well, we're doing it because it's the teens. You're going into, I guess, like say your mini adulthood. So that's why we picked that. I even like to work with them even younger, up to like 8, 9, 10 years old, but we can give the scholarships away to them and just kind of set the precedent to let them know, hey, you have some funds ready to go. And they're getting closer to that college age. So now when you have the fund set, it kind of motivates you to say, hey, well, I got this scholarship, so I have a reason to move forward. Because a lot of kids might get rejected because they don't have the funds. So we try to do whatever it is. And it might not be for college. Like, we're not pushing the college on them. I say, hey, listen, if you need to use that money to go get a mentor, if you know what you want to do and you know somebody who's doing exactly what you want to do, I'm cool if you say, hey, I'm not the college type. I'd rather just go shadow this person. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to put you in a whole lot of debt for you to not figure out what you're going to do afterwards. So we don't put a cap on what they need to use it for, but we want them to know, hey, I'm going to give it to you because you've earned it. It's that sense of earning. And to go back to the philanthropy, honestly, it would be, for me, I want the youth to know you can still continue a legacy and create one at the same time. Yes. And that's what I had to get mindset wise. It's like, well, I should have did this. I should have tried to box. I should have moved forward and used his name more stuff. Because for a lot of times, a long time, like, I didn't want to use it. Like, I didn't want to use it. And they're like, well, that's you though. You're not using it to gain forward. You're using it because that's who you are. Mm-hmm. And like Patrick said, I had to accept that. Yep. But I also know that I could continue the legacy, but still build my own at the same time. All I'm doing is just carrying the name respectfully and with integrity. But now I'm creating my own, because I'm not doing much with the boxing world. I have my own fight. My fight came within, and that's every single athlete, from football to basketball, soccer, any athlete. You're going to be talented, but so much, but then somebody's going to be a little stronger than you mentally. And that's going to be the person, a la the Jordans, the Kobe's, all these celebrities, all these athletes who are Hall of Famers. They had a different type of mindset. Even my father, the Ali's. So that's really what it's about, but continuing a legacy, but also creating one at the same time.
Well, I'm a junior also. My next question will be, what ultimately led you to become a giver?
Oh, man. Well, like Patrick said, it wasn't, I speak a lot about my pops, but my mother, my grandparents on my mother's side, she was the same way as your father, Patrick. I mean, her house was everybody's house. You come there, you get some food, you come in. Now I see my mom does the same thing. She brings in, and that filters into me. And I'm just like, well, because the whole thing is this: what I do now, I'm planting the seed for my daughters that you can see in the background. It's going to pay off. I want somebody to be able to talk to Destiny or Faith or Sage or my wife and say, hey, yeah, Joe, oh, your father's Joe Frazier? Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, he took care of this person, my child, when is that? Let me take care of you. That's right. So it's not about yourself. When you make it about something bigger, that's when you set that seed, you plant that seed for now your kids to be taken care of, because it goes the opposite way. Some people did some dirt and they're like, oh, that was okay. Yeah, he really screwed me over. Yeah, come on over. Come on. And they think in a different type of way. So that's how I'm not focused on what I'm going to get from it. I'm focused on the seeds I'm planting in the future. And then I know God's going to take care of me in the interim.
That's right. That's right. Now, Patrick, I would like to know some things that JP Realty Solutions has done for our community. Type of things that you guys been into lately.
Okay. Well, we started off with when we first got involved in this, it was like I said, from the real estate aspect of it. So what we wanted to do, and we've helped out a couple of people with this as far as getting them houses, because we knew through our research that we were finding out that the big banks, i.e. Bank of America and all the rest of these guys, they were turning us away at a 54% rate when it comes to us applying for loans and everything. So when we created the company, we created a program called the Path to Home Ownership Program. Okay. Now, what we do is that we take the individuals who are being turned away from the banks, because we tell them this is what we're looking for. You're our targeted audience. So we want to give you not a second chance, but actually give you a chance because you should have been approved by the bank. So what we do is that we have a consultation with the individual. We break down everything with them as far as credit history, as far as understanding your credit. We have an amazing team with us that helps out with correcting credit. We have financial literacy experts that talk with them because one of the things we found out throughout our walk when it comes to this real estate is that because of the housing market that crashed in 2008, 2009, right?
Mhm.
We knew then that they would have to reevaluate and look at credit in a completely different way because there was too many people who lost their houses and it wasn't just us.
Gotcha.
So they had to review this in a completely different way. So what we wanted to do was educate our people on the new way that they're viewing credit so we can take advantage of it. And what they're doing is that you can get away with a 630, 620 FICO score or something like that, right? But now what helps you is how long have you sustained this money in savings?
Mhm.
So what we did was that we taught people that once again, listen, if you got $5,000, put $3,000 up, don't touch it, keep it for a 6 month to 1 year thing before you get your house. So at the same time, so now when these banks look at you, they say, okay, well, if I give this person a let's say $150,000 loan, right, with a 7% interest rate. So that payment is going to be principal and interest, let's say about 750, somewhere around $800, right? So now I just need to know that you have 3 times that amount in your savings account.
Mhm.
And then I can rely on you, right? Because if something happens, if you lose a job or something, with the exception of this pandemic that we went through, but normally if you lose a job, they normally say it takes you about 3 months to get another job. So what they do, what we don't know, is look for 3 months worth of revenue in your account. So then you're sustainable. So we teach people that. The second one that we have that I really want to talk about here, fellas, is our Dubro program.
Mhm.
And we've helped people out with that Dubro program. And what that is that myself, Shane Johnson, and Cameron Scroggins are certified postpartum doulas. So what I was able to do is take that program and what a normal doula would do and flip it and do it specifically for the men. So what we do is that we go in, we take the men who's never, this may be their first child, it may be your third child, but a lot of guys don't come equipped with understanding how to handle the baby or whatever it is. And if you have kids, Joe, you'll be able to testify to this one as well. We feel helpless when she's pregnant. I
Mhm.
mean, what can we do, right? The baby's in her stomach. There's nothing that we can do. But what we don't understand is that there's a lot that we can do. So through our Dubro program, what we do is that we teach you to pay attention to the signs of your mate from the first trimester on through the third trimester and through birth, right? So we teach you about the taco card. We teach you how to understand, that your baby moves and acts and reacts to your voice.
Mhm.
Mm.
So guys don't understand that. You can have a baby that's restless in the mother's stomach, and if it hears the male speak, the baby will calm down. See, but nobody tells us this. So what we wanted to do with the program that we created was educate the men on how to handle the babies from birth, I mean from inception to birth. Just educate them. So then once the baby is born, we teach them the importance of delayed clamping when it comes to the umbilical cord, because a lot of people do not know that you have the ability to delay that clamping for up to, I think it's a minute or so, or 2 minutes.
Yep.
Now, the importance of that is all the nutrients and everything that you're getting from the placenta into the baby. It gives you a healthier baby. It helps as far as the mentality is concerned and their mental health is concerned. So all of this is why it's so important we teach the people this, because it's you watch these people and they as soon they want to click the cord and they want to take because they're using all of that vital nutrients and stuff. So what we're saying is that don't short your kid. We give the father a voice.
Yep.
So what we've done is that we've given the father a voice to put him back in the delivery room.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
you know So that's one of the programs. The other one that we have going on, we have a 10-2 program. That program was derived from me. It's paying homage to the neighborhood that I grew up in. And it's a stress program. So what it does is that it teaches the men how to deal and cope and identify their stressors. So we can take the stressors that you go through on a daily basis. In our course, we have them break down. One of the biggest things that one of the first things that we ask in that course is, who's your role model when you were a kid?
Mm.
And if it was your father, then what did you think of it? You know, what did he leave you? And what we do is the same thing Joe said today when he talked about with his foundation and stuff. We get to the root of the problem. We don't do the surface because it's too many people out here doing surface research and all the rest of the stuff, and they're trying to do surface healing. We have to get to the root of the problem, what ails us within the Black community. And a lot of times you have to understand, sometimes it's us, and we have to be honest with ourselves. But then sometimes it is the system and the element.
One thing for sure is that you guys have in common is you give people options. And that's what we need mostly in our communities. You know, one of the biggest things that plagues our communities is lack of resources. You know, so back to Joe, expanding your program outside of the Philadelphia area. Mm-hmm. You know, what is your outlook on that?
Well, this year
and hold on, and one more thing, let me add to that. Mm-hmm. And first off, and I want to give kudos to you, man, for the way that it's set up. Most of these people, they set up the scholarship funds in this one way, you know, guidelines, but a lot of people, like you say, aren't going to go to college. You know, a lot of people may want to, like I say, dive into so many different programs that they have available now to kids that they didn't have when we were coming up. Like I say, so I tip my hat to that, brother. That's thinking outside the box, and it's way more effective in the community sense. But absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah, I mean that you're right. It's all about the options. Right now, this past year, we actually did it just not even in Philly. We did it outside everywhere because of the pandemic. So we opened it to anyone that could get the scholarship, by the way. The other thing about expanding my program that I have specifically for me is called Young and Empowered. And I take the youngest kid I have right now is 7 years old. The oldest one is 21. Mm-hmm. And we do Zoom calls every Thursday from 7 to 8. And we cover different topics, usually ranging around finances, fitness, faith, or food. Mm-hmm. And just like Patrick said, we're trying to educate them, especially in the financial literacy area where a lot of African Americans, we struggle. Mm-hmm. Credit, just how to manage money. We're always the first ones to go out and buy them Jordans and all that stuff. But, you know, what I try to educate them on is that every time you're buying that, it's okay, but understand you're buying somebody else's family's brand. That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So why don't you find a way to buy that and then study it and figure out how you can make your own brand? You know, so I try to empower them like that to know that it's okay to want what you want, but know why you want it. Don't just get the Jordans because Joe Schmo over there is getting the Jordans. Mm-hmm. You know, don't get it because you're like, well, I don't have a lot of money, so this increases my status if I have a pair of Jordans on. People think that I've got more than I've got. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's that whole adage of, you know, the man makes the clothes doesn't make the man. Mm-hmm. So we cover different topics like that every week. I try to make it not too classy, you know, because, you know, I know they don't really dig that. But I just keep an open forum. A lot of times I'll shoot a video. I'll do a video. I do a little money giveaway. That way I'm sure they're going to stay.
Yeah, definitely.
Little trick there, you know, but they have to be participating. They have to have their camera on. And I just try to make it fun. But if I can my whole thing is realistically, I say to myself, Joe, you're not going to hit everybody. You're not going to touch everybody all the time. But if I can get value to at least one of them every single time, that keeps me moving forward. Yeah. You know, because attention spans are short nowadays. So it's like, you got to realize that I can't give them too much, but I got to give them just enough in a way that they can get there, because I try to meet them where they're at. I can't take them to where I need them to go if I don't meet them where they're at.
You got to spoof, you know.
That's the whole philosophy there.
Yep. Well, okay. So how do you go about selecting people to be a part of your programs? You know, is it in the rec centers? Is it a program that a foundation that's, I mean, something that you have online and you advertise that way, or how? Go ahead.
Well, right now I keep it short. I have a Facebook Messenger group that we do. Some of the friends and family, and then I tell I tell the youth that I work with, just tell you, I don't care who you tell. I mean, if they show up, they show up. Like I said, just have the camera on, be respectful, and we'll talk about the topic. So I really don't have, it's free. So I don't charge. So if they want to come on, I'm just really all about planting the seeds right now and giving the value. I have other ways that I'm making money right now, so I'm not stressing it. And I just feel like, God's gonna put me in a place where He needs me to be. It's not that everything can be free, but right now this program is good enough where I'm just giving them knowledge that I have that I feel I can give to them, and that's me planting the seeds moving forward. So if anybody needs to find me, they can get me on the social medias. Hit me up. My website is joefrazierjr.com. That's coming out next week, so I'll have all of my things on there as well. But if they just want to inbox me and say, hey, can I be a part of your group? I'll add them, and that's a done deal.
Okay, yeah, that was my next thing. What, how to go about it? Like I said, and you said it'll be available on joefrazierjr.com next week.
.com and next week, and then if they want, as of right now, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, my handles are all the same. It's Smoking Joe Jr. So they can message me. I'll add them to the kids group, introduce them and everything like that. And every Thursday, 7 to 8 o'clock, we do a little session and just try to get some good education that they need. Not saying you don't need the school stuff, but I'm trying to give you the practical stuff you need to use in your day to day.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how many kids do you average a class?
Right now, I have about 15 in there.
That's pretty good.
I try to. I mean, once it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I'll probably need to use a different platform or maybe break it into 2 or 3 groups. But I think if I can get up to like 40, that'll be a good session. That's
a great session.
But
amazing session.
It's a whole classroom.
Yeah, so
inner city classroom.
Yeah. If I can keep it going like that, and that's my vision. My vision ultimately is to help over 50,000 kids. I chose that number 5 is my favorite number. So I just said, let me just throw a couple zeros on there. And I said, all right, that's on my vision board. That's in my mindset. I got a little sticky notes along with $5.17 million, because that's what I want too. But just got all that. Hey, it's about being intentional and being specific. And I've learned that. So I'm not just throwing out there, hey, I want money, and all right, well, here's $1. You got money, so you got to be intentional, and that's what I'm looking to do. So 50,000 kids is my ultimate goal. And this is one of many programs. When we open up, I hope to be able to do stuff with them outside, just really the local ones, but that's where I'm looking to go with it. All right,
and you're basing this outside of the Philly area?
Yeah, I'm outside of in Bucks County, Langhorne. I'll be moving to Jersey soon, but I'll be able to trek up. I'll be able to make that happen.
Okay. Hey, we need those programs here in the Phoenix area also.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Patrick, you have a camp coming up. Can you? And that's going to be a big thing. It's going to draw a huge crowd. I know it's a lot of guys interested in that, and you got a lot of pros coming out to help with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the response that we've been getting from the residents of South Phoenix, and the beauty of it is that a lot of the ex-pros that we have, they were born and raised in South Phoenix. So it's just a matter of them giving back to their community. These guys have done it before. They've had camps before and stuff like that. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they know what they want to do. They just want to kind of do it a little bit different on this. And they just want to make sure it's going to be something that's going to be sustainable for the community. And then once again, like our camp is going to be free. So because once again, we understand who our targeted audience is. We're not going to get caught up into, like we discussed earlier, about people being upset with what folks are spending their money on and stuff like that. That's great if that's what you choose to do. But this camp that we're having right here is going to be free for the residents and the youth of South Phoenix. So we're going to be dealing with ages, I think it's going to be like 13 on up to 18, so freshmen on through the high school. It's going to be like a NFL combine style. So we're going to do something a little bit different, because we also want to get these kids in the mindset of, having them understand what this next level might look like. And one of the things that we're going to do with the athletes and stuff is that, and they do this as well, but I wanted to put emphasis on speaking with the youth and letting them understand what the transition is from high school to college. Because I went away from school. I didn't go far. I was in California and I went to California. for school. I just went to another part of California.
Mhm.
But the problem with it is that I got homesick,
Mm.
you know, and no one spoke to me about when you leave, you know, what to expect,
Gotcha.
you know. And so it's one thing to understand that this football thing may be my future and everything else, but I want to, like Joe said, I want to meet these kids where they're at.
Mhm.
So with the program, that's what we intend to do, to meet them where they're at, to bring these kids here and help them out step by step, to have mentors for them that went through what they went through. It's easy to identify with somebody when you can say, hey, this guy went to college and stuff. You know what? You know, I was an all pro in college. I was an all pro in the NFL and stuff like that. But what people don't realize is that my transition was tough.
Mhm.
You know, I went through the lonely spells. I went through you know, we all went through the ramen era and all the rest of this stuff. We ain't had no money,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of us who played sports, we understand what a student athlete actually and really is,
That's right.
and what the limitations on that is that, you know. So with the program that we have, I want these guys to speak with these kids, let them know, to get them prepared for this next step. So we have the youth. This is something that they can look forward to, because I told them it's one thing to talk to, you know, to talk to some of these guys about the NFL, but
Mhm.
you're far removed from that. So this
Yeah.
is not the NBA. So
Yeah.
you're not coming straight out of high school to go play pro ball, you know. So you have to let your body develop, but you also have to let your mind, right? And so that's what I want to do with this program that we have. It's not just about the athletics. What it is about building camaraderie with these ex-players. And then this way they can see that, hey, these guys actually came back.
Yeah.
One of the guys that we have, Pete Mandley, amazing guy, ex-Lion. He said that in one of his stories, when I spoke with him, he said he had one of his camps, and the youth has told him, say, hey, you guys get too big and stuff. You know, you get the ball and you in the NFL, I don't ever come back. Y'all don't come back to the community. You don't share with us. You know, you get there, you get to this certain point, and it's all about, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
And but that was the one thing he said that changed him,
Mm.
is because he was like, you know what? That little dude was right. He was right. We do get this type of mentality. So that's what I love about him and Terry, that are helping us with this camp, is that that's the mentality that they have. We're going to come back. We're going to show the youth in South Phoenix that we're from South Phoenix, that we ran these streets in South Phoenix. We know these streets in South Phoenix, but I'm also the one to show you the pitfalls and help you get by the pitfalls. So I'm the one who's going to come back and mentor you and coach you up and talk you up and edify you and get you to that level that you want to go.
Gotcha. Well,
So it's more about that than it is the football.
gotcha. So Joe, what do you have coming up in the future, man?
Just a couple other programs. The Young and Empowered program. We got the Legacy Exist. I'm working on another program with a couple individuals to do kind of like a camp, like Patrick saying, with athletics. It's going to be a combine of just everything, not just sports specific, or not just football specific, but all sports, basketball, really just more the fundamentals. And I've always had that vision of just, being able to go into a gym and come in with a lot of affirmations around, and doing visualizations. I know for football, we used to do that every time before game. We would visualize the game happening, us eating breakfast. It was usually the night before, and just doing all the things, seeing it happen before it even happened. So that's what we have coming up with, obviously things opening back up. That's going to be awesome to do. Hopefully there's no restrictions, but yeah, just like really of a combine of just athletic movements, agility, fitness. Try to bring in some nutritionists to talk about nutrition, and just go over all the elements that I'm doing virtually with the Young and Empowered group. Just do it on a broader scale, and have a team of individuals.
Any way that ASAP Elite can help, man, let us know. We use our platform, and hell, I'll put boots on the ground.
Yep.
Without a question. And ironically, both of you guys are concentrating on the same age group, that 13 and 19, 13 to 18 range. So this is a great networking opportunity. Like I said, we're out here in Phoenix, Joe, man. So we got a lot of things going on here in the area. So if you ever want to expand and or even just kick things off of each other, ideas off of each other, man. First of all, Patrick is a great guy to do that with his organizations, and I'm always open to it also.
That real estate thing is a big deal. Yeah, I love the what was it called? The bro? What was the
Dubros.
Dubros?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did know about the umbilical cord. I didn't know about the other stuff, but yeah, that's and just a little teaser. I probably can I tell? Okay. I had to ask the wife. I had to ask wife first for permission, but we got another one on the way.
All
You know what
right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
All right.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I haven't told
Yeah,
many
for
people
sure.
yet. That's why I did get a cosign before I said that. But yeah, no, it's exciting, and I tell her all the time. See, I tell her like, listen, I think it's gonna be a boy. So I say, I'm gonna tell him what to do right now. Just like you said, Patrick, they hear you. So
Yeah,
I'm
they do.
setting the tone. I'm setting the
Yeah.
tone right now.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
right
He
now.
ain't coming because as it is, he snuck up on us. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know, we had the pregnancy test. He ain't say nothing. So he already causing problems right now.
Yeah.
And I said, I ain't going down like that. You ain't coming into this world. The doctor's not gonna spank you. I'm gonna say, Doc, I gracefully just say I'm gonna spank him first because I'm daddy.
Yeah,
You know,
for
so
sure.
he's gonna know from the start.
Them
But no,
Frazier
you go.
boys.
I love what you're doing with that, and you know,
Appreciate it, brother.
anything I can do as well to help. Any way I can get the podcast out there, Patrick, what you're doing, especially real estate too. I mean, we need that stuff in our community because we've been at a disadvantage, but I see it. I see it shifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just have
It's
to.
it's definitely shifting in our favor and stuff. And actually the world is sitting up and watching.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so we have to make sure that when we make these moves, we have the right people making these moves because we are, as we've always been, being judged.
Absolutely.
And so look, I just love what you're doing, Joe, as far as those guns for shoes, those guns for sneakers.
Yes.
That right there to me is amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing because you're saving lives.
Yep.
You know, you're saving lives and then you're changing lives. And that's what we're here to do, right, fellas? We're here to change the narrative.
That's right.
You know, we've lived this long enough to say that, okay, we're grown now. It's our chance. Let us step up and, you know, kind of let us do something. Let us make some moves. Let us do something that may not be, you know, the norm, something that's unconventional. So thinking out, like you said, Coach Penn, thinking outside of the box, right?
That's right.
Just like thinking outside of the box. So, like I said, this with the programs and things that you're doing out there in Newark and abroad, I mean, it is amazing because we all know the history of Newark and that area up in there. And for you to come in, despite the name and with the name, to come in and just be like, listen, I got to do something. What I love that you said is that, yeah, your pops had his legacy, but it's, you know, you extended your legacy. So from his legacy, you created yours.
That's right.
And I think that that's what we have to do. You know, it's okay to follow in footsteps, you know, but a lot of times we have to make those impressions ourselves, right? Because like you said, you got your babies behind you and you're setting all this up for them. I'm the same way. Everything that I do is going to be for my kids. It's their legacy. Because like you said, when we help out as far as this philanthropist aspect of it, it ties into what we consider generational wealth, right?
That's right.
But we have to understand that generational wealth doesn't have to be like Joe said, monetary.
Yep.
That generational wealth that I hand down to my children can be knowledge, right? Because if I speak to them and I educate them and I show them, if I can show my kids how to do the research that I do and have that same type of mentality when you go into a classroom. You know, the philosophy I had with my kids is that I just need my kids to be the best version of themselves every day when they're there. Let me take care of everything. Let me take care of everything else.
That's right. That's right. I saw essentially I saw this one, I don't know if it was a podcast or YouTube, but the perspective of this father was really cool. So every day what he would do is he would have his kids sit down at the dinner table and their conversation was, what did you fail at today? What did you fail at today? And he said the reason he did that is because he wants, if they're not failing at anything, then you're not trying. And if you're not trying, it's because you're scared you're going to fail. So I need to let you know right now that failure is okay as long as you don't quit. You know what I'm saying? So you can lose at things, but I want to know, what did you try at today that you might not have gotten the results you wanted to? And then we can talk about that. But I need you to come to this dinner table every day and tell me that you tried your hardest at something. And I just thought that was really cool. And that changes, like you said, Patrick, the narrative and the perspective of how they see things. Because it's all about how everything we do is because of either we've seen it before, we're in the current environment of it, and now we have the mindset of this is how it's supposed to be. So if we can change that early, again, goes back to the early stages, you can deal with that, and I get sick of hearing about, these athletes who are in the NFL or different leagues, and they have millions of dollars, and so people say, well, what's wrong with them? They got millions of dollars. Why would they blow all that? Well, because back in high school, somebody let it slide and said, oh, well, they've got a scholarship. They're going to college. And then in college, they said, oh, well, they can get to the NFL. So don't worry about it. When they get there, we'll address it. Yeah. Now it's too damn late. They got millions of dollars, and now they're sitting up in jail because it was never addressed. So it's a snowball effect. Snowball effect.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, guys, I just want to thank you guys for coming on. Joe, I need to bring you back on the show, man.
But my pleasure.
I owe you, brother.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah.
I feel guilty. Next time you come.
Oh, man. I'm going to send you the link that's not on back order. All right. I got you. Oh,
hey, man. Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, thanks for everyone for tuning in with us. Hey, we'll come back next week with another episode of ASAP Elite. Appreciate it.